Prakriti is growing with a new campus and with international affiliation, and it's grown up to standard 12th. As we grow, as founders, we are committed to not make it a number story, but a quality story. Individualized learning, interdisciplinary methods, as well as social emotional education are extremely critical to us. When facilitators are in tune with the learner's skills, interests, learning styles, proclivities, they would guide the families to create learning pathways that truly nurture the child to its best potential. Through our methods of mixing core disciplines with arts, with music, and creativity and design, including media communication and technology, we are able to expose the children into skills for fourth industrial revolution. Social emotional learning is all the more important today than ever before, especially in the world that is growing comfortable with materials. We would like our learners to be comfortable with themselves.
Prakriti was founded with the conviction of discovering my own inner Swabhav, my own Prakriti. What is my Prakriti? I am no different from you. We are all the same. Growing each year, I see Prakriti expanding into a community of Buddha's sons and daughters that is learning, reflecting, unlearning, finding its own root within, balancing themselves within their own inner Swabhav. Kindness towards others, not only in action, but in mind and speech too. Listening more to others, seeking their perspectives, keeping well-being of my own self and everyone around me as a pivotal point. In all our daily transactions, seeing all this warms my heart. Where is the source of happiness? It lies within. In the growing years, if we are able to hold on to this ground steadfastly, we have built ourselves a strong, smooth sail to face the rough waters and strong winds that are yet to come. Falling and rising again is what we all go through each day, and that is our happiness. Think about this. It takes a child to raise a happy village.
We differentiate between education and learning at Prakriti. In our constructivist ways, education is what you do to others, while learning is what you make or better still construct for yourself. Our role is that of an enabler. We facilitate and enable our learners to ask questions that are relevant and from their own context, here and now. By being purposeful and being mindful, this paves the way for learning for happiness. Our affiliation with Cambridge International exactly provides us this flexibility while staying in a local context as well. And this aligns very, very well with our view of learning.
A teacher is the most important link in the chain of a learner's evolution. Children's emotional connect with their facilitators is the fountainhead of all learning. So what does it mean to be a facilitator at Prakriti? Facilitators at Prakriti, first and foremost, ensure the emotional well-being of their children by not being authority figures, but didis and bhaiyas that their children love, play with, and pour themselves out to. Facilitators know their children deeply and have a strong connect with families. They ensure that they support children through their ups and downs and be a true participant in this journey of the children's growth. The curriculum at Prakriti is co-owned by the facilitators along with their children. The curriculum at Prakriti realigns itself every year, keeping in mind the needs and interests of that specific group of students. Facilitators at Prakriti are mentors who help children in creating their classrooms as child-centric spaces and not teacher-centric spaces. The learning spaces in Prakriti are not ones that have a front of the classroom, but rather they are spaces that foster discussion, communication, analysis, thinking, and creativity. All children at Prakriti create their own literature right from their first year, be it stories, poetry, games, or plays. The curriculum is very experiential and always focuses on being relevant to its learners. In the early years, this means a lot of hands-on concrete experiences based on tactile sensorial materials and developing a deep observation of the world around. As children grow, they use these observations to develop healthy perspectives based on their experiences. Young adults at Prakriti are encouraged to think independently with a view to enabling their communities to rise above their challenges.
Initially, when we came here, we were looking for a place that was close to us and well, accessible not just in location but also in thoughts to what our point of view was. And when we came to Prakriti for our daughter Noor, she loved the free-flowing nature of the school, the comfortable environment it provided, the less intimidating environment that it provided her, which was very essential for her because she was very sensitive at that point. So that was one of the main reasons that we chose.
I think for me, the very important part of why we chose Prakriti is because this school really lets our children be themselves. They are enjoyed and celebrated for who they are. They don't try and box them into certain kind of individuals that every child should become. Each child is celebrated, and given I have two children, two very different children, they have very different things that they enjoy doing and are happy with, and they both get to be themselves at home, of course, and also in school. So Prakriti for us is literally an extension of our home, and that's why we love having our children here.
I would really, compliment Prakriti and Prakriti pedagogy, environment, and Didis and Bhaiya, who really actually put in an effort to bring in this sort of a habit to do continuous research. We all, as a child, I remember and I recall when I was in my early childhood years, research used to be something very well connected to a scientist. So when you are getting into a research, people say that, oh, you want to become a scientist. But now what Prakriti is doing, they are not making scientists, but they are not doing anything less than a scientist also. So this environment itself is a place to experiment, to innovate, think out of the box. Children, they don't have books, but they learn a lot. I think these kids, they have made their future very bright under the helm of Prakriti, under the shelters of Prakriti, and under the pedagogy of Prakriti.
Since my daughter was small, I was always looking for a school where they can develop an intrinsic love for education. So when I think about my own schooling, or when I look at other schools, how they are teaching kids, I see so much pressure on the kids, so much focus on tests, on getting good marks, becoming a topper in the class, so much competition all around. And what I feel is that what actually happens to those kids is that they are learning only to get good marks or to become a topper in the class. So all their homeworks, everything that they are doing, it's just with the goal of getting good marks or becoming a topper. At Prakriti, the environment is very non-competitive in the classrooms. The kids are encouraged to work on their own. They are not really worried about how they are standing in the classroom or how they are going to perform in the test or what happens to their homework. There are hardly any tests in the class. Conception that people have is if there is no competition, then what is going to motivate the kids to learn, to excel in the class or to even study at all? But I think at Prakriti, they have showed with their model of education that that bringing in that competition is not necessary for this. When I see my daughter studying or doing homework, even though there is no grades for that homework, even though there is no compulsion, there are no tests for that, even then she is putting her best effort, not just for the marks, but for the actual joy of learning it. She's spending so much time on the projects just for the joy of learning and completing it and doing a good work over there.
Hello, my name is Trupchan and I study in grade 6. The name of my group is Luminosity. Why is my group's name Luminosity? So in Prakriti, we get to choose what name do you want our group to be. So I choose luminosity. Some other people choose punctuality, generosity. So in Prakriti, we get to choose what we want to be this. So the subject which I look up to the most are MCT and drawing, because in that I can be whoever I want and I can do whatever I want. In drawing, I can draw anything. If I want to draw a hippo, I can draw that. If I want to draw a world without corona, I can draw that. So Prakriti, it gives us the freedom to do anything. And like the subjects MCT, art, they make who I am. So it's the thing I love the most about Prakriti. They let me be who I am.